I want to go over tonight. Like, why do people like are so afraid of insects? You know, there's so many people that are afraid of the spiders. They're afraid of, and they don't like ants. They'll kill the ants. Well, I can understand if they can become invasive. Like, if I had a damn yellow jacket in my house, I would definitely not let that sucker live. I mean, he would be out of there. Or if like a black widow or something. Black widows are evil creatures. But I'm telling you, there are some places in this world where they'll have insects that are just like very sophisticated. I'll tell you the experience that I've had at different places. Now, most people would not go to a house that has like cobwebs, like inside it. It's kind of like, creepy, a little too dirty, disgusting looking. I can understand this. I mean, nobody wants to be in a dirty, filthy, creepy space with a bunch of like crawly creatures everywhere. But check this out. I tell you, I was at this house one time where they had cobwebs like up in the corners of the rooms, and they also had them around some of the lights that were up there as well. I mean, this is good. The lights are about 8 foot tall roofs, ceilings. You take now they got cobwebs up there. Now I tell you, there was a fly. I mean, a good sized one too that was caught in one of the webs up there, and one of the spiders was doing his thing, wrapping it with his fucking webbing shit. But then something happened. Like all of a sudden, the fly falls to the ground, and the fly's all wounded up. He ain't going nowhere. He's just down. He's standing on the ground, in the guy's house, falling from a cobweb. So I'm like, oh, ew. But then that's not the best part. Here's the best part. The spider that was doing its thing with the thing, he starts coming down from his little buddy web slowly, like inch by inch, like deet, 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 until he's all the way onto the ground with the fly that fell. Now he's there on the ground for a few moments, right? And I see he's like wrapping the spider still. I was like, what is he doing now? Is he just gonna just wrap him up and try to eat him right then and there? No. Here's the best part. After a few moments go by, after he's done, he turns and starts going back up his web, and he's carrying the motherfucking fly in tow back up the web. He's just like, now, can you believe that? I was just like, now I'm focused on this more than the goddamn television. I'm like, holy shit. It's like the spider dropped down 8.5 feet, wrapped the fucking the fly up with some more of his webbing, and said, all right, that should be enough. Turns up and starts doing a tri-arm, arm over arm, fucking arms only, pull it like fucking Vin Diesel going up the fucking rope in Riddick, the Chronicles of Riddick, like going straight back up with his web with his motherfucking meat, his dinner in tow. He's like, I ain't letting this motherfucker get away. It's like, this sucker is mine. I'm having steak tonight. I tell you, man, I had never. It's like at first I was a little creeped out when that fly fell, but then to watch the spider come down and just be like, I ain't losing this catch. This catch is mine. I ain't letting no other spider claiming this bitch. It's like, all right, do a little fisherman knot on there so it's nice and tight. Throw it over our shoulder and then back up the web he goes, arm over arm. I'm like, well, goddamn. So it's like, all right, well, I guess spiders aren't really all that bad. At least that one isn't anyway. But now you got something else. You got no, no, one time we were out on the patio now, and this was in the evening time. It just gotten dark. The sun had just gone down, and you see one of these big wing moths, right? It's like pretty good size one. It's like a 3 inch wingspan moth or something like that. It's one of the big ones, right? And I see it flying like like 10 feet above, like 10 feet off the ground, and all of a sudden I see like one wing of it go down and it like flutters to the ground, and I'm like, what? I was like, what happened? It looked like that thing just got shot out of the freaking sky. And then all of a sudden I see three yellow jackets all taking turns dive bombing the thing. It's like, I'm like, holy shit. Dude, they're doing like a freaking attack pattern on the moth right there, right on the deck. And sure enough, like, you know what it's like. If you know what it's like to be attacked by yellow jackets over and over, I tell you, it is horrible. It is one of the worst things to ever happen to me, and it has happened many times to me. I weed whacked for a living for a long time, and I hit a lot of yellow jacket nests, and I got attacked many many times. And let me tell you, it is not fun. And these things were doing their attack coordinate pattern dive bomb technique on this moth because they were determined to take it down. I don't know if the moth pissed them off or something, or they just were hungry and they're like, we're let's get the like three of them, and they're like brothers, and they're just like, with you, with you, with you, with you, and finally the moth is down, right? And it's on the deck. Now I'm serious. This is like more entertaining than watching fucking the Discovery Channel. It's like, all right, well, like I've been attacked by yellow. I'm usually, I got a phobia on yellow jackets. I hate those things. I've been attacked by those things so many times, and just by watching them taking that moth down, kind of gave me the willies a little bit. But then after it was down, one of them tries to take off with it. That tries to he picks up one of the wings and he's trying to fly. He maybe get like an inch or two off the ground and it falls. And then another one tries to take off with it, right? So I see him like they go in a foot, they go another half a foot, and then and I swear to God, this is here's the best part. After a few moments of that, all of a sudden, all three of them just go, you know what? Fuck it, come on, let's all do it all at once. And all three of them go, and then they all three take off with it in tandem together. This big ass wing moth, like it took three yellow jackets to lift this thing up off of the deck, and then they took off with it back to HQ, back to the nest. And I was like, you know what? I've been attacked by yellow jackets so many times, and usually I would feel for whatever they're attacking or eating. I'd be like that poor creature. But when it came to that one, I was just like, well done, very well done. I mean, most people nowadays can't even coordinate their efforts that well. Most people on a job site won't even coordinate their efforts like that. But those three yellow jackets, man, they had it down. I got to give them respect. I never had any beef with those particular three yellow jackets, so you know what? We don't have any beef, me and those three. But the rest of the yellow jacket population, fuck y'all. Okay. Oh man. I could tell you. So yeah, there's sometimes even a yellow jacket can be okay in my book, even though I hate the damn things. But then you got like other creatures like ants, other insects like ants. They can be really annoying. One time, I swear to God, we had a drought going on, and I I'm usually pretty good at not leaving stuff out for ants to come in and get on, anything sweet or nothing like that. And one time I had ants coming in, and I'm like, what the hell are they coming in for? I was like, there's nothing on the ground. And then I look and I see my glass of water was on the carpet. And that's what they were going for. They were going for my water. They were so desperate for water, they were breaking into my house for it, even though there was nothing for them else for them to go to. They just like were going for the water, like nothing, like no tomorrow. But then here, speaking of ants and water, check this out. There was a time when I was over at a friend's house and they had one of those, little pools, but the water burst out of it one day, one time, and there was a nest of red ants, a pretty big, good sized one too. I don't know if they were red ants; they were kind of like a black, dark red. I don't know. They weren't like the smaller. They're bigger than the red ants, but these guys seem like the giants of the red ant community. Kind of like there was a big nest of them. They didn't put up with no shit from anyone, and they were pretty hardcore. But the water from the pool flooded their colony. Like it put them like under a couple inches of water, and I'm like, oh man, they're not going to be happy. And so what happened? Usually, something like that happens. Like if there was a city and a hole in the ground, if people, the ocean flooded the place. I don't think like people wouldn't just all of a sudden swim to the surface. You know, it'd be pretty hard for. I mean, you're talking about a couple inches of water. That's like got to be like 60 feet of water compared to for a man and the surface level of water. So you're talking about like 60. If you had 60 feet or more of water above your head, all of a sudden in a underground city with a hole in the ceiling, and then now this is what happened. This is the best part. The ants, they were like, oh man, this fucking sucks. And they all start floating to the surface. First, it was like a little bundle. And then it turned into like this huge, like basketball, like thing that was like just like all of them were just like giving each other bear hug. Like they all went into like a big bear hug thing. They're all tied in one big ball, one big knot, and they just floated to the surface like that. Just, and they float like they made like a raft of bodies of ants all together as like one thing. And they floated on the surface of the water until they reached the shore, the land. And then they started to all walk off like almost in single file lines. And as the last ones left, they turned and they gave us the bird, like, and then they walked off. I swear to God, that's what happened. I was like, my God, there's just like, fuck, man. Now we got to go find another place to live. It's like, you know what? Fuck you and your clumsy pool, motherfucker. We're out of here. I mean, that's one way to get rid of an ant colony, but that's sure one hell of a thing to see with your eyes in person. Now, when it comes to like things that you find like repulsive or like creepy, but when you see them in action, man, in live action like that, it's really something else. Even though I found that house with the cobwebs creepy and disgusting, I don't think I would mind going again. I was pretty entertained. I wouldn't touch anything. I wouldn't touch a single thing, not even a doorknob, probably. But I'd go in there one more time, keep my hands to myself or in my pockets permanently until I got out of the house. But I would go in there and just look around just to see what kind of action I could see. Like, what's going on over here? What kind of thing are we going to see today on the Insect Nature Channel in this inside of the house and all around the patio? I swear, it's so crazy. And check this out. He's got one of those LED like floodlights outside. Now these things they like to attract those big white winged moths, And there's a lot of some of them around there in the summertime. And get this, he's got some bats out there that got like wings that are like, probably twice the size of your hand wingspan with one wing. Now here's the best part. Imagine you seen all these moths about 10 feet above the ground, 15 feet above the ground, all flickering in this white light that's shining off of their white wings. And then you all of a sudden see this black, shadowy like creature like swoop in and then like follow it for a second or two. And then you see the white wings just disappear. And then you see this creature just go straight out. And this would happen every like 4 or 5 minutes, because there would be like there would be a moth up there, and then you'd see the thing like he would like be right on his ass too with his face like until all of a sudden the wings disappeared and they'd be like, all right, I'm out. It was crazy. It was one of the most craziest places I've ever been to in my entire life, and I swear to God, I should fear for my life when I'm there, but I am so entertained by watching just nature at its best. when it comes to all the riffraff that's around that property. It has got to be one of the most wonderful things in the world to observe nature, to be able to see things happening between other impulsive like acting animals. But I would definitely go there with a lot of mosquito repellent, and I would definitely keep my distance. Not touch anything with my bare skin, any part of anything with my bare skin. But I would definitely go there for some self entertainment. That place is a one of a kind.